Hello, everyone. It's nice to be with you once again, at least from far. Eh, we have, I'm now in Washington, but I'm so happy to share this time with you there in Nairobi with all the people of the Catholic University of East Africa. And for today, we have many interesting things. We will see many things related to. Let me share the sound. Okay. Human rights. And today specifically with the family. To the family, we will see what is the family. You know for sure. What is marriage? You know for sure. And what is a child? Children, I will say these three notions are quite connected between them. You cannot understand one without the second or the third one, for example. No? So let's begin talking about family. Let's begin talking about things that you for sure know very well. No? So the first question for today is, what do you think? Is this a family or not? The Tower of Giraffes. I don't know. Try to think and also think why. Why? That is the main idea here, no? Seems to be that yes, but why? Why? Yeah, well, they are close. Just because they are close, probably no. Let's see another question. No? What about these palms? Do you think that this set of them are a family? Trees. What do you think? A tree could be a family or not? It's not the same. The palm grove is not the same as the giraffe tower, no? It seems to be that, yeah, probably you can apply the notion of family, but not exactly the same, no? And what about this congregation of birds? Seems to be that a congregation, yeah, probably yes, but it is strange because all of them will live in different places, no? Many times, well, just two will fly away, they will do their own. So all of them are a family or not? Well, probably yes, probably perhaps a doubt could be. No? And finally, this herd of elephants. What about the elephant? Are a family? Most people will say, for sure, this is a family. For sure, no doubt. But why? Why? Try to think. Try to think, for example, comparing now with this. This is, we have a coalition of cheetahs, no? A drove of pigs, and many other groups of animals, no? Seems to me that this is very clear that it's a family. And what is the difference between the palm grove or the coalition of birds? What's the difference? Think about. Is many times is not that easy, but let, let's take a look of these pigs. Seems to be so close. Seems to be that they are mammals, no? They need the mother to survive. The cheetahs many times they will eat some of the children of the babies, but normally they will live with their parent till they are able to survive. So a family is related to the notion of survival. Can you see? In such a way that when one of the babies are able to survive alone, probably they will go away and they will create a new family. A new family. Yeah, yeah. Probably some species will live together, so many families. The meerkat, for example, the gang of meerkat, they will live together, but some others will create their own family. So family is related to survival. Family is related to the notion of children. That is quite interesting. Let's take now a look to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We have here many things, no? It is not exactly the notion of family, but more or less you have many elements. Yes, the Universal Declaration says something about the unity, no? It's the base of society. It's the natural and fundamental group unit of society. And before that, precisely, it says, men and women of full age are both. They found the family. The foundation of family is marriage. Yeah. The foundation of family. That is interesting. That is interesting. Was so clear in 1948. Was so clear in 1966 when the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights approved that. You can see exactly the same idea. The family is the natural and fundamental group of unit of society. Sorry. And once again, immediately after that, men and women related to one specific agreement, marriage, are the founding fathers of the family, parents of the family. Yeah, both. This is quite interesting. If you check the African chapter, it will say something similar. Yeah, because you know very well why they didn't include men and women, because well, you have polygamy in many states, so it was so difficult to approve exactly the same phrases, but more or less is the same idea here. Okay, so who are the members of the family? Who are the members of the family? Mother, father, children, and many other you know very well. Is this a member of the family or not? What do you think? Could be the pet a member of the family? Many of my students will say yes, for sure. Yeah, but if someone is at risk at home, you will not save the pet and leave the grandmother into the house that is in fire, obviously. No? So yeah. You will protect first your closest family, and probably the pet is a kind of assimilation by analogy, part of the family. One sociologist described all the members of the family in this way: self in the middle, no? And the closest could be the parents, siblings, but also the spouse. In one grid, the spouse. The spouse. That is interesting. The spouse is part of the family. It's part of the family. It's important to repeat that. It's a family relation, the founding relation of family, precisely. That is the idea. And then with parents, grandparents, great grandparents, you know how it works. What is interesting is that any kind of family relationship has some characteristics, some features, all of them. Experts in this topic normally say that these are the characteristics. They are interpersonal, Yeah, between two persons. It's not between an animal and a person, or an object and a tree and a person. No, it's between two persons, two human beings. And then, it's intrapersonal nature. The relationship affects the most intimate of the person. It is quite interesting, no? Yeah, it's part of identity, our identity. If my parent is, I don't know, a pig, what I will be, a pig. If my parents are a mosquitoes or a mosquito, what I will be, a mosquito. It's part of, but my parents are humans. That's why I share almost the whole DNA with my parents. No, it's part of my identity. It affects me. Family affects me deeply. What we are, no, 99.99% we are the things that we our parents are. It's quite it's interdependent, complementary, and systematic. All the relationships between family members are, and that is incredible. What happens, for example, when a newborn appears in planet Earth? Well, if I'm the father, I will begin being the father. If someone is, for example, the sibling, well, from that moment, that guy will be the sibling, and so on. And the uncle, aunt, grandparents, great grandparents. It affects all the members of the family. If you change one relationship, it affects everyone, the net. And this is an irreducible nature. You cannot substitute the basic. You cannot marry your father or your mother, obviously, no? You have to protect. You have to protect. You cannot cancel the previous relationship, destroying them in such a way that you can destroy. No, it's not possible to destroy. It means that it's a lifelong and indelible nature. You cannot erase, you cannot cancel the relationship. That's why you never talk about my ex-father or my ex-mother or my ex-brother or my ex-sister. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Because today, a new idea many times appeared, well, my ex-husband or wife. Well, I will say it. If that is a family relationship, it should last forever. Biographical character. Yes, every single uh, relationship between family affects us, and we put in our name, no, the last name is the family name. Family, and every biography you will read, this is the son or the daughter of someone. Yeah, that is the beginning. It affects our biography. And it's a communal character. It creates a community to live together, to support each other, and many other things. Well, this is the first approach to family. At least we have 2-3 ideas in mind, just to refresh the things that you know. Let's talk about a concept, a notion that is not so easy today to understand: marriage. And to talk about marriage, normally I begin with this slide showing so many animals and asking, do you know the names of these animals? People normally know 6, 7, no? When they get the fish, well, or I don't know, these two, the smallest gazelle of Kenya. Do you know the names? Don't worry if you don't know the names, because I will put all of them in front of your eyes. Second question. Do you know what kind of characteristic do they have? that is exactly for all of them in common. They share the same characteristic. This second question, normally people don't know. Yeah, all of them are monogamous. They live together, and there are lovely stories. For example, the story of the Dick. They will live together forever, no? And what happened if a Dick, one of them, died after passing away? The other will die immediately or in a short time. It's interesting, no? Monogamous. So monogamous is not only for the human being. There are many species. There are psychological aspects, dimensions of monogamy. Yeah, in the human being is quite different. There are even some reasons. But yeah, we realize that in many species we find the same thing. No, they support each other and just two. There should be some reasons. Nature are teaching us more than 1,000 species are monogamous. More than 1,000 species. Unbelievable. Not just the human being. This is the map of polygyny. Polygyny, one sex with many of the other sex living together in a community. And if you compare, more or less are the country that accept one man and many women mainly are Muslims, no? Countries, as you can see in the map. No? Other countries will not accept that easily that they accept. But in the rest of the world, I will say normally polygyny is not well. The contrary. Now the contrary. One woman with many men. No? It's almost nothing. No? Almost nothing. Polyandry is called, no? Almost nothing. Some small groups. Yeah, and the way that they understand this is quite different. No? It's a kind of equal access to the woman. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. So yeah, if we talk about the principle of equality, at least statistically, there is no equality here. Well, marriage, we already saw what was the definition in 1948, no? Marriage, men and women, full age without limitation due to place, nationality, or religion, have the right to marry and to found a family. That is interesting, the foundation of family in marriage, no? Well, we need consent and many other things. You know very well these kind of things. More or less the same idea, the same notion of marriage. We already saw that was in the International Covenant of 1966. The same idea, exactly the same idea, was in the European Convention of Human Rights of 1950. Right to marry, yeah, men and women. What is incredible is that now the courts, I say, no, this says the declaration, the convention, the covenant, but we will give a new interpretation adding same-sex marriage. Many supporters of same-sex marriage say that that is not the way of approving something, no? Saying that the text says that same-sex marriage is approved. No, here it is clear, men and women. No? And the idea, if you read the history and many other things, is clear. If you want to approve these kind of things because you believe, well, let's create a new treaty. But don't say that, because if you don't read what is written and was discussed, well, you can say that whatever opinion is a right, whatever. It depends. No? Another example, the Constitution of Ecuador was even very clear, no? My country. marriage is the union between man and woman, and it will be so many things. And the second article after that is same-sex unions are unions. They didn't say so. They distinguish. No, marriage is this, and for same-sex unions, this is another institution. It's another institution and was more or less recognized. But the Strasbourg Court of Human Rights say no. Well, there is the right to same-sex marriage, and then one guy sued France because in one regulation it appears that the regulation was not recognizing same-sex marriage, and at least the Strasbourg, the Court of Human Rights, there say, well, the covenant doesn't impose, it's not an imposition of the provision to accept that. Each state can do whatever they want in these things. And my country was exactly the contrary, and even was very clear that that is not marriage. And they will say, no, that is the thing that the Constitution says, but we include same-sex marriage because it's good, no? And that is a constitutional right against the text of the Constitution. In many places all over the world, the approval of precisely this, the same-sex marriage, is not by agreement, it's not by referendum, it's not by the parliament, it's not, no, it's a few guys that took the power of the court and approved as a right, against whatever is written in any country. You can realize here which countries were the first ones. Yeah, you realize very clear, no? Netherlands, Belgium. Well, and you realize where it was originated, no? It's a Western idea, clearly. South Africa will follow, but it's a Western idea, no? You have cases all over the world in the history, but one thing is that, I don't know, that there was an action and another is the approval as a right, no? Yeah. Okay. This is a Western idea. I believe. You can believe whatever you want. So now it's so important to talk about, seriously, what is marriage? What is marriage? Perhaps it could be related to the sexual orientation. I don't know. If you like a tree, can you marry a tree? I saw a wedding of a guy and a tree because the guy loved so much the tree, and they decided to marry the pastor with the pastor, tree and a guy. Unbelievable, no? My orientation is, well, or is a matter related to sex, no? And the most important question, why the law should protect marriage? Yeah, there could be many communities in this earth, but why it has a special protection? We already say something. Yeah, it's a matter of survival. But let's talk about sex, what the song says. Let's talk about anatomy. Let's talk about what these kind of things are for. It's an incredible organism. To have this, we need so many years. What is sex for? What is the reproductive system for? Everything that seems to be so well organized here for one purpose. You know very well what is that purpose, no? Perhaps you don't know this, no? That evolution, this is evolution, no? Life appears 4 billion years ago. And the sexual reproduction appeared more than 1 billion years ago. More than 1 billion years ago. So it lasts 3 billion years to the life to be able to reproduce into sex, in which one should match perfectly with the other sex in such a way that they can reproduce an organism, identical organism of the same species. And that is on a species. And two species that the two individuals that cannot match and cannot reproduce, that is another species. Incredible, no? Incredible. You know these kind of things, no? But 1 billion years ago, we cannot say no. Now we discover what is that, no? Now we are so intelligent and things change absolutely. No? Yeah. So, what is sex for? Well, it's clear for reproduction. It's clear. It's clear. It seems to me that it's clear. Yeah. Obviously, in the human being is also for other things, no? For unity. It creates a special unity, the personal, corporal, and spiritual union, where men and women give themselves totally in their conjugality. Yeah, it's a strong way of giving ourselves to another person. Both things, no? That's why children are children of love, no? Of giving ourselves, giving the totality of ourselves. If you understand this, you understand everything. If you don't understand this, you don't understand anything. You will see. That is so important. I want to stress this idea. These are the two main essential key aims of sexual reproduction, of the reproductive system of sex. Okay. And that's why if we understand this, we will get the principles, the principle of totality in each act, sexual act. Each party will give the totality of themselves. Yeah, the strong words of the body is a phrase of Jean Paul II. The strong voice of the words of the body. Yeah, you are doing this using your sex. You are telling another that I give in entirely, completely to another. No. So if you are saying that with the body, obviously you cannot lie saying just this night. Yeah, because that is to give ourselves. No, I have heard. Well, I have a professor of psychology time ago that explained so many times. No, some diseases, psychological diseases. For example, one. Yeah, a woman that was raped, violated by another guy, and after the crime, she began to write poetry because that was her first time. And yeah, and she with the body gave herself to another. Yeah, this is something that's not working, but you realize that the body psychology, the psychology that is even in many species, not the human being only, but especially in the human being, well, matters, and matters a lot here. No, totality we express. So that is why I'm saying with the body this is false. No, it's false. I don't know. Well, we will see that joke later. Another principle, the principle of interdependence. Yeah, both aims are related. Yeah, it's not just for procreation, it's not just for union. Yeah, all this machine, spectacular organism is for something, no? To give ourselves and to give one part of our body, creating a new human being. Both ends are interdependent, are essential, both of them are necessary. And should be together. Procreation, or at least the idea or the possibility of procreation along the personal, interpersonal donation, both together. If you understand the two aims and the two principles of sex, you will understand everything. That is very important. That is very important. Try to consider if there is some truth here. Yeah, obviously, this my understanding is the understanding of many people, but it's good to know how things can work. Okay, so let's continue with the principle of interdependence. Sorry, with the next topic, the next question that will be about this. Does sex have to be with marriage? What kind of relation should be sex and marriage? No, sex and marriage. No, seems to be that today is so difficult to match both. Yeah, seems to be that everything is a kind of orientation, love, desire, passion. So properly sex, no, the men and women. What is the relation men and women with? I would say it's exactly the same, no? The two ends of sexual relationship are not understood outside of marriage. If what is an act of the will that consents giving the totality, the completed yourself to another, and this act is mutual, she or he is doing exactly the same. So that is marriage. That is marriage, no? So the matrimonial pact is that an expression of the will in which the parties place it, the will in the ends of the sex. No, I will give myself everything for one specific purpose, create a family, found with children, Yeah, that is the part, that is the will. Many times children will not come, you know very well, won't come, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, no? At least is the will that is there, no? That is quite interesting. So that's why I will say marriage is the true sex, is the true sex, is the true sex that is really, really helpful to understand. Because why we need, I don't know, a pastor, a priest, an authority? Yeah, it's just for evidence, to have some proof. Time ago, people were able to marry without a priest, without a pastor, without an authority. But many bad things happened. I mean, 500 years ago, the guy will tell the girlfriend, well, let's go to the wilderness. And in the wilderness, he will propose marriage. And let's marry now and have our first night. No? And after the first night, they will come back to the city. And in the city, she was so happy. I'm married. I gave myself. And he will say, no, with who? With you. With you. And the other will say, no, no, no. And they will go to court. The word of the woman didn't have so much value as the word of the men. So she will lose everything: marriage, honesty, everything. And that's why it was a virus. it spread everywhere in the world. That's why at one point people decided, no, let's do in the way that many people do, no? Yeah, with a priest, with a witness. So what is a priest? It's not part of the agreement. It's just a witness, or the authority, or the pastor. It's just a witness to certify that there is marriage, but it's not part. Another very interesting question. Does marriage have to be with love? What kind of relation could be? Many people will say yes, because, well, it's the ideal, at least, no? There's a bit, between wife and husband, they should love, but you know how things work. Many times today, after 5 years, most of the marriage will finish. Yeah, I will say that that is not the approach. To answer that question, we have to answer a previous one. What is love? What is love? And the answer, I found a great answer in a movie that is called Fiddler on the Roof. This movie is about two old parents, grandparents, will be, and they realized that the daughters began to marry because love, but they were married because an agreement, no? And at one point realized, the guy said, no, was that love or not? So this is the question, what is love? That is the question of Fiddler on the Roof.
Do you love me?
Do I what?
Do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well,
With our daughters getting married and there's trouble in the town, you're upset, you're worn out. Go inside, go lie down. Maybe it's indigestion.
No, Goldie, I'm asking you a question. Do you love me?
You're a fool.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well.
For 25 years I've washed your clothes, cooked your meals, cleaned your house, given you children, milked your cow. After 25 years, why talk about love right now?
Golden, the first time I met you was on our wedding day. I was scared.
I was shy.
I was nervous.
So was I.
But my father and my mother said we'd learn to love each other. And now I'm asking, Golden, do you love me?
I'm your wife.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love him?
Well?
For 25 years I've lived with him, fought with him, starved with him. 25 years my bed is his. If that's not love, what is?
That you love me.
I suppose I do.
And I suppose I love you too. It doesn't change a thing, but even so, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
It's nice to know after 25 years what is love. Yeah, that is love. That is love. Well, to give ourselves. What is the relation between marriage and love? Is the institutionalization of love. This is the same thing. I mean, it's not a desire. It's to work for the good of the other, to give ourselves, to give our life helping the other. No, what is the matrimonial part? A part to love each other for life. It institutes a duty of love. That is one of famous canonists. And it's exactly the same that thing that people say when they get married. No? I, for example, Dick Tracy, take you, Crystal Coke, no, 2 names, to be my wife, and I promise to love and sustain you in the bonds of marriage from this day forward, in sickness and in death, in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow, till death shall part us, according to God's holy ordinance. Yeah, yeah. So it's absolutely related. No, it's not a weak connection. Huh? It's the institutionalization of love. Yeah, you say, I promise to love you not till you are young, but I will not love you when you have wrinkles and you are ugly. No, no, no. So yeah, absolutely, it's an agreement. Not this. There is no more love. There is no more marriage. No, marriage, the pact will be forever. Will live forever. That duty, because you swear till death, till death. No. So all the things that are against these kind of things are bad things. No? What kind of things are against these kind of things? I will say divorce, because this destroyed the duty of love and everything. The entire, I mean, with you are saying with sex, I'm giving my totality and entirely, completely. It means not just the body, but the whole life. The whole life you are giving to another. No? And yeah, you cannot say no. I accept you everything, but not your face. I will cover your face because you are so ugly in the act. No, no, that is not love. No, you cannot exclude one part of the person because there will be no totality. There will be no totality. Sexual torture, trafficking, bestiality, yeah, or many other things. Relations without the purpose of full donation, prostitution, for example, just for having fun, or that excludes the offspring. In canon law, many marriages are, it's so easy to get the declaration of nullity in the Catholic Church when they realized that from the very beginning they didn't want to have children, but because that agreement is not a marriage, no, it's not an agreement with the will give ourselves, but without children. That is not marriage. That is not. That is another thing. But whatever you want, but it's not marriage. It's not marriage. Obviously, incest, pedophilia, and many other things don't want to have children. Or that exclude the sexual union. Yeah. Yeah. If you just use the organs to procreate people, well, that obviously that is not marriage. This is against a great thing. No? How we can destroy great things? Using them against the aims. For example, how you can corrupt your computer. Yeah, using your computer to, I don't know, as a frisbee, as a rock, as a seed. Yeah, you destroy that. You destroy that. Well, one of the most important parts of the human being is the human capacity of loving other people. And you destroy that if you use bad sexuality and sex, both. So this should be clear. That is bad. That is bad. It's destroying the capacity of loving people. Should we criminalize all these actions? That is a quite different question. Should we criminalize every single thing? I found the answer here to that question. Do you know where is that? This is Holy Land. Holy Land. And time ago happened that some Jews asked the same question to Jesus. Should we punish this lady that was found committing adultery? And Jesus began to write in the earth. Nobody knows what could be there. Some people say that the sins of the same people. And finally, after many requirements of an answer, Jesus told them, well, you know very well the story. You can punish her, but the first one of throwing a stone should be the one that has no sin. And obviously nobody was able to throw that stone. At the end, the lady go to Jesus and the dialogue you know very well. Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you? No, Lord, she said. And Jesus said, neither do I. Go and sin no more. And I will say that many times that could be the answer. Should we criminalize all the things that are bad? Probably no. Probably no. The scriptures say it so clear. The union between people with the same sex is not good. It's not good. Should we criminalize? Probably no. Many times, probably yes. I don't know. I will say that no. This is probably no. Probably no. No. But this is a good example. I think that is very helpful for me. Well, with this, I finished the part of marriage. I will give just one idea about children. So what is a children? Well, what is a minor? It's a matter of size. Here you have the tallest and the shortest guys in the world. Obviously, it's not a matter of size, or yes. It's a matter of maturity. Or it's a matter of age, no? 21, 18, 16. I don't know. It depends the culture, no? And why? If just is a cultural thing, why not 62? Why not 4? Never. Why never 4, never 62? It's not just cultural, it's something there. There is something there. By the way, this is the oldest person alive. So probably could be a matter of capacity. I will say all of them. All of them. Do you remember when we gave the definition of family? Well, it's related to the survival of the species. The children will go away when they are able to survive by themselves. The wilder beast is so incredible. No? After 10 minutes of the birth, they are able to run. 10 minutes, amazing, unbelievable. The human being, we need much more than that. People say that after the womb of the mother, there is the womb of the family that will help children to grow up and then to survive alone in each society. So it takes so much time. It takes so much time. If you understand this, you will understand all the ends of Minor's law. What is the child law for? Well, the main purpose is to secure the survival of the species, of the children. Yeah, until they reach maturity such a way that they can survive. So you should secure food, health, clothing, shelter, education in such a way that at one point they are able to survive by themselves. It's interesting. It's interesting because many times today people are promoting the adoption by any kind of families, you know. There was a great study. I believe that this is the most important sociologist today in the world. That is called Mark Regnarus from UT, Texas University. Let me share now another slide. And she realized that, yeah, now I will share with you. This is from internet. Okay. And he realized that after a great study, he spent so many $1 million here, no? For these studies. So many people, surveys. He said, well, some people say that the best children are from same-sex marriage, no? By adoption, obviously. And he showed, for example, a rate of suicides. That is hard data. You cannot say no, more or less is subjective. No, suicides, children to suicide number, no? With two fathers, with two mothers, and the best here is the intact family. Children with depression, with two mothers, a lot of depression. Be aware, one is nothing, no? So yeah, any family you have the same, no? But these two groups, two mothers, two fathers, it creates not a good environment. Let's see, arrested. Another that is clear. Are you arrested or not? But once again, these two groups are not the best for children, are the worst. Therapy, need a psychologist. You can see these two groups are very high, but adopted also. In adoption, they need normally a psychiatrist, a psychologist, because there are many things, no? You can realize here that this is the only group that this is higher than this thing. So, well, and many other things, I will say that there are many things. I cannot show everything, but let's go to our PowerPoint once again. Yeah. So it's interesting which states are promoting the adoption by the same-sex couples, but more or less you will see that they are the same. But years later that are promoting same-sex marriage, no? So you realize what is the next step in this movement. I will conclude now with the last idea. No? We want to secure the species, family. We should secure marriage first. No? Well, I hope that you at least refresh some ideas. You should have your own position. It's just my contribution for today. I understand that each one has their own position, and you should have your own position. I think that it's not to impose anything. Many things I can be wrong. Yeah, for sure. But at least I think that some ideas can help here. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye bye.